Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 2 of Dyson's Sphere program. We're going to continue where we left off from in the last video, but I'm just going to share with you my objectives for today. First, we're going to set up some basic blueprints. Then we're going to automate some of those components that we researched yesterday, the motors and engines. We're going to set up that silicon production, set up a forward operating base, and then we're going to set up that red production so we can get red production working as well. And these are all of the things that I'm going to be working on today, so let's crack straight on, and here we go. So, we've got some research that we was working on yesterday, that's just continuing. Blueprints is almost done, that's what we're working on at the moment. So whilst we wait for blueprints, we can get set up with some silicon production. Silicon is going to require us to get some stone, and we've got quite a lot up here. So we'll go ahead and use this. We're going to need to get a few of these buildings together, so we'll get some of these, and I think we're okay for the moment. Let's look at power. Yep, we're good for now. Alright. So the way I want to do this, I want to put a couple of these down, so we'll do a 6 here, that works. We'll do another 6 here. I'm going to try and see if I can get another 6 down. Yep. Complete. I think I just missed that actually, so we're going to try that again. Grab a 6 there and 6 there. There we go. So we've got 4. And the reason we're going to do this is because there's actually a couple of parts we want to make for this. We're only going to use 2 of them for now. And we're going to use a wind turbine. Or maybe not, because we don't have any on us. We can go and pick them up. We're still doing some research, so that's good. Alright, blueprints are now done. Good. Alright, let's stick down a wind turbine. And put it down on these 2 right here. We're also going to need to get some, and we'll do this in a minute. We're also going to need to get some more conveyor belts. So, we will start by pushing all of these out. Just seeing what I got on me there. Okay, cool. All the conveyor belts, all the sorters, got everything. So we've got everything we need. We're good to go. Alright, let's get this built. So same as before, this is going to be 6 and 6, so 12 in total. And let's have a look at what we need and what we can output here, right? So I'm not saying we need 6 of these, but if I was to go ahead and just do 1 for now, and push into this, see, I would need some power, so we'll just go ahead and do that. This, if I was going to make silicon ore, takes 10 pieces of silicon ore. Oh, that one's not connected. All right, let's we'll put that there. That's all going to connect up now. We'll just make it. There we go. So this is doing 6 per minute because it takes 10 bits of stone. Those 10 bits of stone, by the way, look, it can't push it in quick enough. So we really need to have 2 of these going in to make this fully efficient. There we go. So we've always got some there waiting. And the reason is once this stone is stacked up, because it can only hold 20. Now it's down to 10. So what you need to make sure is it a 20 before this gets all the way around? And actually it is, so it works. That's fine. Right, so that's going to be 6. So if we have 6 of these, or at least 5. By the way, all we need to do is less than greater than sign. So if that's using, so we have to remember, right? That's using 10 to do 1, and we can do 6 per minute. So one of these is doing 60 per minute, which is equivalent of 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That is all of the nodes. That is maximizing the output, which is why we have it. Put another one of those there. That is now going to push us over our limit. Well, thankfully there's some coal here and we know what to do with this, so we can go and do a 6 there. With a 7 actually. Not that we need it, but we can do this. And now we can set up blueprints. So the way that we're going to set up blueprints is we're going to have a line that's going to come out to here, right? It doesn't really matter how we do this. So let's say, for example, the line's going to come out like this. We need to go and grab some of these. There's 50 in here, which is great. We're going to grab them. Now this one's struggling with fuel, which is interesting because we've got 2 pushing out and yet that's struggling with fuel. Because it's pushing down so much. Interesting. I wonder if I could fix that by having 2 on here. See, now it's starting to store up a little bit. Because we want to keep all of these going. And also, we have to think about how much we're consuming. So we're going to get this here. And we're going to create this blueprint. So the way we're going to do this, we'll go to our power. And we're going to look at how we can put these down. Like this. We'll go 1, 2 here. We'll do the same here. We can go 1, 2 here. And then if we only want to do 5 of these, we can do another one on the end here like this. This is nice and clean. We can now have the sorters that are going into this. Now we have level 2 sorters available to us now, so we can start to make these. So I'm going to make these with level 2 sorters, not level 1. So we can have one that way, one that way, one that way, one that way, and one that way. Once this is built, all we need is to press Control and C, and it takes us into this, which is the blueprint mode. Once we're in the blueprint mode and we have this laid out, we just grab it all, left click, and it will tell us exactly what's needed for this blueprint. We're going to call this thermal power setup. Click on the blueprint, put the building, show us what it is, copy the name into the thumbnail text, and save it. Save blueprint. We've now set up a blueprint, a thermal. What that means is that if I come out of this now, if I click on 0 or press O or blueprint, I can double click this and I can put it anywhere I want. So if I put this down, I have just made another one of these. Now, I'm not actually going to do this. So let's just delete that. But I'm just showing you how you can make blueprints. Right, so now that this works, and we know that this works and how it works, I'm going to bring this one down to here. This one's going to join it there. I'm going to move that one over to this side. Still works, but now it allows me to put this one here. And that'll all connect up. And that's it. That easy. So now, all I need to do, connect the miners up, connect them together, and then just put down a blueprint. And that's it. Simple as that. And if I want to clean this up a little bit, I can do that as well. Done. Alright, so that's going to help me as I scale, because if I look at power now, double what I'm using. That's fine. These are all working, which is great. Let's get rid of these notifications. We're still working through all of our research, which is good. So now what we're doing, we've got these silicon ore. We need to turn this into high purity silicon. Okay, so the way we're going to do this, simply just going to put another one of these down. Now, if we look at what we've got in terms of ore, and we put the ore in here, so I change the recipe to be high purity silicon, it's going to make 30 per minute. Okay, now we know we're making at the moment 6 per minute, so that's 6, 12, 24, with another one that's 30 with a little bit extra. So all of these will go into just this one, which is crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this down here like this. And then this one like this. And just put the power there, so we've got some power there. Alright, so that's going to push all of these down into here. And that's going to make 30 a minute for us. Now, if I want to, I can push another one along here. And again, if I've got one, I just copy it and paste it like so. But what you'll notice is this is going to use all of these up. Now, because I don't need to do anything at the moment with this, I just put a box down. And with that box, I can very simply just go from here, push both of these in. And that is a silicon setup. Not that we need it now, but it's working. So we're going to leave it working for now. Because for me, it's very important that we have no bottlenecks in this process. So that's going to sort that out. So that's silicon done. All right, we can fly now. We've done all of our research that we needed to do. We can now fly. So we've done all of the research on the first level here. Now we need to start moving and getting ready for the second level. So for that, we need to unlock energy matrix. And for that, we're going to have to come up here and get the plasma extract refining. So let's get that. 2 minutes on that one. Then we'll do this. Okay. There's a few other things that we can unlock. We haven't done them yet. We don't need them. It's okay. We need to set up the other basic blueprint. We've done basic blueprints now. So basic blueprints are now done. Let's also, now we've done power, we can do the same thing here. So now we can just grab this. And if there's anything we don't want, we just right mouse button it. There we go. That's going to be our input from there. And then all we do is we save this as silicon raw production. Save that blueprint. Now we've got a second one. We can come down here. Do the same thing here. Again, very simple. Just going to grab the bits that we want. Making sure we don't grab those bits we don't want, which is removing that bridge. And we can clean this up later, but for now, yeah, just leaving that like that. This is going to be copper production. Save that one. And the last one we want is this one here. which is a very nice clean setup. And this one's going to be iron production. There's our basic blueprints all set up. Nice and easy, and we know how to use those now, so that's done. All right, now we need to look at motors. Okay, so motors and engines, but also we want to make prisms. Well, prisms are really easy because we've already got a glass here, right? So we can go from the glass that we're making straight into prisms. So to do that, if we look at prisms, prisms are made in an assembler. So let's go pick up an assembler. We've got them from our buildings here. Pick up 17 of them, that's all good. We are going to put that right here. And in the most simplistic of ways, we're going to put this into here. Then we're going to get some more storage. Now, I can't do this at the moment because I haven't manipulated the environment. And the reason is because I need some foundations. Foundations require steel, which we're making, and bricks. So guess what? Over here, we've got steel and we've got bricks. So we're going to put these two together. If we do these in an assembler, like so, we can connect these up to go from here to here and from here to here, and that will now make the next item which we want to automate, and that is going to be foundation. Now foundation only needs to be stored in one box, but now we are making these, and we've depleted a vein, a mineral. One of our iron veins here has already gone. So that was for the blue setup. We're going to have to find some more iron. We're kind of going to struggle with that in a bit now. Right, so now we're making these. Let's go ahead and use those. Also, just to check. Yeah, see that's... We're going to do a full line of these, because we use quite a lot of that. But because these buildings are done, everything's going to get stocked up there, so that works really well. This one doesn't actually have any power. I'm just going to stick another power there for now, just so I haven't got to worry about it. So this is going to make prisms, because we said prisms was something we wanted. Now we want to be able to put this down, but I can't put storage here because I need foundation. So if I lay a foundation without decoration, I use the plus and the minus button to make it bigger or smaller. I'll make it smaller. I just click once. There we go. Now if I want to do it without decoration, I can. And what I've done is I've just filled in a bit of that water. So now, if I grab that, rotate it around, I can now place it down. There we go. Now I'm making prisms. So that's prisms done. That's the foundations done, which is good. That works out nice. I've got glass, I've got prisms. It's only trickling over, so I'm not making a lot, but just enough to trickle over for now. Next thing I want to make is going to be these electric motors. Alright, so I'm making quite a few of these, which is good. So that can be used to start the electric motor process. So what do I need? I need cogs. I'm not quite getting enough cogs through at the moment. They're still being used for everything. So what I'm going to be better off doing is finding another source of iron, which I've got here. I've got some copper there, so I can go and use that copper as well. We're going to go and set up another separate loop away from all of this, because these buildings work. Now we're going to go and set up over here. If I double tap space, I can now fly. That allows me to fly around. Press space to go higher. Can only go to the atmosphere. Can't go any higher than the atmosphere. But it allows me to fly, and I move at 150% faster. First flight's complete. Very good. Okay, so looking at what we need here, we need cogs, we need iron ingots, and we need magnetic coils. Lots and lots of magnetic coils. Here, we need magnetic coils and copper. All right. So, if we're ever stuck or we're not sure of what we need, the best thing we can do is mark out the conveyor belts. What are the inputs that we need? So we need iron ingots. Okay, let's click on that. Click on that. We know we're going to need iron. We also know we said we're going to need copper. We also know we said we're going to need magnetic coils. Is there anything else we need? Cogs. So just by setting this up first, cogs, coils, iron, copper, perfect. Those are the 4 items that we're going to need to come in to make these. We know that we can't from there, so we'll do 2 because that's all we want to make. And this one is actually going to have to come in along the bottom. So the others can go along the top, that's fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to reverse engineer this. So we'll just copy that to there. And instead we'll just delete those 2. Perfect. All right, that works. Now this one, as we know, is going to make motors. And this one, as we know, is going to make engines. We're also going to have our 2 boxes set up. Going to connect them up. Perfect. All right, so what do we need to be able to make these? Well, let's have a look, shall we? We need 1 cog. All right, so cogs we know is going to come into another machine. So we're going to need a machine here to make cogs. Excellent. Cogs are going to come out of here and go straight back in there. Cogs aren't going to be needed for this one, so that's fine. We can do the import for this one though. That one's going to be this one and this one. And that's going to be that one, and that one. Perfect. Just going to make sure that whole thing's going to have power, which it will now. Cool. So that's all connected up and ready to go. Now we just got to make sure we're getting all of the raw resources in to be able to make this. So, in order to make this, well, that's a nice simple answer in. All right. And then we need one more here. And this one is going to have to make these for us. Magnetic coils. Brilliant. So it may not be the most efficient line, but it will work. Now cogs only start from there, so that's fine. And as for an import here, we know this is going to be... Oh, we need to get magnets in as well, don't we? Of course we do. So we need another line in here. We need magnets in. So that'll be copper and magnets. All right, so we know we need iron, copper, magnets. We can do that here. 3 simple lines. The first one we'll chuck in here. We'll keep this very simple. It only has to go to here. This is going to be our copper line. So copper comes in, and then, as we know, copper comes out, right? I'm going to swap these. Actually, no, I don't need to. That's fine. Copper comes in, that's fine. That comes along there, that's fine. And then this one is going to be iron. Yeah, see, the only problem with this... There we go. I'm going to just move this over one. So, copper can go over there, but I'm going to put copper like that because this one is actually going to need to go in here like this. That's better. And then that one can come down there like that. So this one's going to be the iron. This one's going to be the magnet. This one's going to be the copper. Perfect. So iron goes down there. Copper comes out there. Magnet goes in there. Which then goes in there. Magnet then comes out there. Magnet then goes in there. Perfect. So that's all now connected up and working. Just need to put that on there. That's working, which is good. And now we just need to put this one on here. So let's see if I can get an 8 out of this. I can. We'll just bring that around like so. Nice and clean. There we go. Give it some power. Iron's done. Copper's done. That's coming through here. That's now coming through here. So these two are being made. Iron's coming down there. Cogs are coming out. Cogs are going in here. You'll know if it works because these two will start to see motors and engines. They didn't actually need to go down that far, so just want to make sure they don't get carried away. And also, looks like I'm fully stacked up here. I've got a lot of glass on me, which I didn't need, so I'm going to get rid of all that glass. Alright, so that one works. We can see because it's in there. This one not yet, because we're not bringing in enough. Alright, so we haven't got enough plates coming in. Good to know. Well. That's an easily fixed problem. We just increase this slightly, push this one over, and done. $60, $120, $160. It's $180 there, so that's fine. And there we go, they're both working. There we go. So they're both working now. So that's done that. So automated motors and engines, that is now complete. Oh, next thing on the list that we need to do is to set up, or we've also set up silicon production. That's done. Now we need to set up our forward operating base. All right, let's make sure we've got everything we need to be able to do that. Also, another thing I want to do today is now we've got these motors being made, I want to start getting to a place where I can make these Salter Mark IIs. Because I don't need Salter Mark 1s anymore. If I can automate these, I can take these motors out of here. We'll just go for a line at the moment. I don't think we need to go for a whole box. But now I can start making these Salter Mark IIs at scale.
Insufficient materials.
And what would be really cool is if I took these from here and those from there, combined them together. I could do that, but we'll do that a bit later, not right now. We'll look at another process to make that happen. All right, production. So we need to get some more stuff crafting. We're going to need chemical engineering, so we'll get that ready. And then we're just going to look for anything else like semiconductors. We're going to need those. We can start moving solar connection, moving down the line because we're going to need that. We can't do anything else there yet. We will have a battlefield analysis base, so we'll get that ready. And Alright, let's just start getting ourselves ready. I'm going to get rid of that because I don't need it. Don't need that or that. We'll get rid of that. And then we're pretty clean at the moment. I'll grab a few of those because we're going to use them in research. But apart from that, we're good to go. Alright, let's crack on. I want to make a forward operating base. So in order to do that, I'm going to need copper. So that means I'm going to need some miners, some smelters. I'm going to need some assembly rods. I'm going to need some wind turbines. And I'm going to need some turrets. We'll make enough power, so we're good. 3 turrets. Yeah, I guess for now. 3 works. I would like, if possible, to make a couple more. We'll make 5 in total. I also want to see what's it going to take to make one of these bases. If I ever want to get an idea, just hover over it. I need thrusters, semiconductors. I need quite a few bits, right? So let's go and grab some of these thrusters from over here that we've started to craft. And these motors as well. Good. Now what we want to do is have a look at where is the enemy. They're over here. Where is, then you can see they're kind of expanding quite a lot already. Where is the nearest copper production? It is here. Alright. So we're going to set our forward operating base up on the nearest copper node to the enemy, which is right here. So now we can fly. We're going to fly over here. We're at an 80% threat at the moment, so it's a good time to be able to do this. See if we can do it before that threat kicks in. Double check we're going the right way. Yes, we are. Slightly over here. Now we've got fuel on us, which is good because we are using up quite a lot of fuel at the moment. Right, there it is. We don't get too close to them because they will attack us. Press Alt to land. Alright. And now we're going to set up a forward operating base. Press B to go into build mode. So we can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like and where it's going to go. And the first thing we need to do is get a miner down. So we'll do that on 6 nodes. And we'll stick some power with it. We just need to come straight out in a line. From here, we're just going to make 2. We don't even need to use all of it. From here, we're going to go... Both of these are going to go in, and these are going to be making copper. So we can go ahead and do that. Nice and easy. From here, those 2 copper that we're making are going to go into an assembler. Now, I can make 2 assemblers if I want. I only really need to make 1 because these are going to be making ammunition. Now these take 3 to be able to make 1 piece of ammo. So if we had all 3 of these going into 2, that would be efficient. But we can do 2 straight into 1. That also works. We don't need to... just to give you an idea of how this can work on a scaled or clean version. We stick 1 there like that. This goes in here and in here, like so. Click the upgrade button here, and we can actually upgrade these. There we go. So this also works like this. And then I can do this to here. And then this comes out to here. We put a turret on that. Turret then sticks on there like so. This outputs. Obviously we need some power on here, so we'll just stick that on there to make sure everything's covered. And then this can just sit behind it on... If we click on this, it tells you it's 180%, right, grid load. So what we're going to do is just stick... Stick them down like that. turn that into ammunition. And now we just copy it. And this becomes forward operating base, equip frontline. Frontline forward operating base. We're going to set a building and we'll just make it a turret. Save that blueprint, and now if we ever go anywhere else, we've got a front line we can use. Alright, very easy to be able to rebuild this. This is now working. And you can kind of see the range of it. The only other thing we need to do from this perspective is we need to bring this across. And just put in a couple more. So I can drag these out. Oh. I can drag these out from here. I can press the tab key and I can start to space them out so they're nice and evenly spaced. So we've got 4 of them there. And then just to make sure I've got enough power, I can put that there. This is now 120% on the load, so I think 6 would be enough. %85% on a load, and now we've got this. So we've got a first forward operating base, and we can build it out if we need to, but it will look like this. So this is kind of a starting point for us. And then we connect it up to a miner, and away we go. These are just outside of range, but when they start to attack, they're going to attack this. So this is at 92% at the moment. Once this gets to 100%, these are going to fly down and attack here. Now these are going to attack, which will probably get more coming out. So we'll end up fighting quite a lot of them, but we'll take this out soon. Very soon we'll destroy this, and then we'll have no presence or no pressure on this planet. For now, we'll leave it there. It's fine. We want to farm it. Got solar research, which is good. We can actually put that solar panel down. We've just been given one. Not that we need it, but we're just going to put it down here anyway. There we go. Now we've built a solar panel. And we're starting to stack up ammo, so we'll just make 1 stack of ammo. We don't need any more than that at the moment. There's no other threat on this planet. We're good to go. The only other thing we want is this, which is the battlefield base. For that we need 12 thrusters. Which we have. We're also going to need some 12 of these steel, which we have. 18 circuit boards, which we have. So the only other thing we're going to need are these semiconductors, which we can now make. So we need to have 6 of those. So we're going to make them ready. And then in a minute and a half, once this is done, we'll just simply be able to go and craft it. Alright, now we are ready to start with the red. We'll unlock this as well, because that's next. Not that we need it at the moment. We're definitely going to get a proliferator going, because we're going to use that. Processor is another one as well, all blue. We're going to just start working on those, just ticking away at them, because we can't do anything that's blue and red yet. We're just waiting for this 97% threat. We'll get it to 100 so you can see it in action. And I'm hoping this research is done before that gets to 100%, so we can put down the base. And I can show you how that works, but it's going to be close. 40 seconds on this until it's ready. We should still be at 240 hash. We are. So everything's working really well so far. And that is our forward operating base set up, which means the only other thing we need to do today is set up the red production to get that working. This game you can get burnout and it can become overwhelming if you don't optimize those later stages. So we have to make sure we cover everything. Now, we're going to try and craft this building as soon as it's ready. There it is. Produce this. There we go. These are all starting to attack now, as you can see. We want to get this base down. There we go. We're going to put the base down right there. Base is down. The grid is a little bit overloaded because it's charging. And as you can see, everything here. Now, there's the attack. There we go. All right. Everything that was gathered is now put into here, and it's saved up. Oh, there's still a unit. So it looks like one unit got away for some reason and went down here. So I'm going to have to go and find it. It's going to be attacking us. It might have gone from the other way. I don't know. It's a bit strange. But we're going to go and find it. Yeah, look, it's attacking our buildings right now. So, because we have no defense over here. I don't even know how he slept through, but there we go. Doing some damage to one of our buildings. We're going to go and... there we go. He's down. That will heal itself because our construction drones will heal it, and it's done. So everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. Forward operating base works. And should we need to, just for a little bit more defense, we can just place one of these here. Obviously, we'll have to give it a little bit of power. So we can do that. But then we can just stick some of these in here, so. Now we've got some defense here as well. Not that we need it, but that defense will look after us. So, going back to that forward operating base. Actually, no. Do you know what? We don't need to. We're going to just craft some ammo. So we've got some.
Insufficient materials.
Perfect. Make sure that's all in there. We're good to go. All right, let's do some red research. So, red research requires us to have two things. The first of which is graphite. We know how to make that. Very simple, very straightforward. The second thing we're going to need, however, is hydrogen. Hydrogen's a little bit more complex. In order to get hydrogen, we're going to need oil refineries. To get oil refineries, we're going to have to be making these items, which comes from prisms and magnetic coils.
Replication complete.
All right, so prisms are over here. We're getting them, so that's fine. We'll take a stack of those.
Flight mode.
Over here, we've got the magnetic coils. That's good. We'll take a stack of those. That's going to allow us to make 50 of these. So we'll just start producing them. So we've got them. We don't need to automate them yet. What we need is an oil extractor. For that, we're going to need just a little bit of this and a little bit of this. That should allow us to make an oil extractor. We're going to go ahead and make 2 oil extractors. And the reason for this is we need to have a look at what we're going to make and how we're going to make it. Now, there is a website that's very, very good if you're going to use it. I do recommend it. It is called factorolab.github.io. So it's factorohub.github.io. And I'm just going to show it to you now and how it works. So what we're going to do, we're just going to flip over to this screen so I can show it to you. Okay, so this is the website. And what you'll do is you'll first look at what have you researched. Well, we've researched the engine, we've done the weapon system, we've done the battle analysis base, and it lets you know in order. So the electromagnetic drive, we did that one. We've done fluid storage, we've done high efficiency plasma control, logistics we've done, plasma extract refinery, we've also done the energy matrix, we haven't done anything else here. We've done thermal power. What else did we do? We did
Research.
steel smelting. Just looking at what else we did smelting purification. We've done soda collection.
Replication.
We've done semiconductor. We've done reclamation. Basic chemical engineering we've done. We've just done this one, which is the that one we're working on. What else have we done? That's it. We haven't done anything else at the moment, apart from semiconductor. That's it. All right. We haven't done anything else at the moment, so that's fine. So with that being done, we click OK. And now we choose what we're going to add. We're going to add the red item. And we want to make, let's just say 60 of them per minute. It is going to tell us everything we need, starting at the very raw. So in terms of raw oil, we need 240 per minute, which is 4 nodes, it says. That's going to go into hydrogen. So crude oil into hydrogen. Coal is going to go into graphite, which means we're going to need 8 coal nodes in total. So either 1 8 or a 6 and a 4. That's going to go into 4 smelters, which is going to smelt into these. So this tells you the exact breakdown of what you need to efficiently be able to make one of these a second, which is all we want right now. So let's head back to the game. Production is all going, that's fine, we'll leave that as it is. Alright, so what do we need? Well, we need to find some crude oil. So let's turn on our vein distribution, and now we can see around the planet. And what we're looking for is crude oil and coal next to each other. Now, there's some crude oil there, and there's some coal there, which means this looks like a great setup over here to be able to do our red production. There's the coal we need. Actually going to use this coal here. And this is outputting 2.6. This is 3.1 per second. So this is outputting 3 per second. Which means if we're talking about numbers, if it's 1 per second, that's 60 per minute. Alright, so 2 is 120, so that's 180. So that's outputting 180 per minute. We actually need 240 in, so we need 2 of these. So we're going to connect 2 up. So let's make sure we've got these items crafted. We're going to start with the oil extractor, and we're going to make 2 of these. Oh, no, we're not, because we've already got them, sorry. So cancel that. We've already made them. But we're also going to need to make the refineries. Now it tells us we're going to need 8 refineries in total. And we're just 1 short, which is a little bit shame, but that's fine. We can go ahead and make this. So we'll put this first one down here. We've got the second one. Actually, we'll use this one here. This is close enough. All right. So we'll push these 2 together over to this area here. And we need to start making these refineries. So here we'll go. We'll go in a straight line at this point. Doesn't really matter where we're going to go, but we're going to go from this side here. So I guess we'll start from here.
Replication complete.
And we'll start from there. Now, putting these in a line, we want to give a bit of a gap between each one. So we can do 4, 5, 6, 7. We need to do 1 more.
Flight mode.
We'll come back and we'll connect that other one up afterwards. For now, it's very simple. This one can just come in and do the first 4. So yeah, we can go from there. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then this one, this one can come in and do the second 4. It's going to look just like that. Obviously, everything needs to be built. What this is going to do is oil is going to come out this side. Now, in order to get this oil working, we are going to need some power. It needs 3 to power this. I can just help this process out. Let's be a little bit closer. We do want to build another battlefield analysis because it gives you 12 construction bots as well, which is really nice. It will build all of this out super quick. But we can do that later. For now, our goal is just to be able to get this running, which it is. You can see that crude oil is coming through now, which is nice. We're going to do the same thing from the other side. Again, we're going to need 3 of these to get this working. All right, perfect. Now these are going to take up quite a lot of power. So we're going to have to look at another power source and how that's going to connect. If we look at our power right now, we're actually generating a lot of power, but we're not connected. So what we would need to do, and we can do this for now temporarily, we have to come from here all the way over to here, right? So if we look at how this is going to work, we can go from here with our wind turbines, because this will give us additional power. We can go across the water, look. So we could just go in a straight line, create wind turbines, which is going to give us additional power, but also it works as a connection between our main base and our new one. There we go. And that's going to connect up the power, so we'll take it from here over to there and give us additional power in the process. Doesn't have to be a full-time thing that we do, but for now, definitely helps alleviate the pressure on the power. Perfect. Now we said we want to make one more refinery as well. So we're going to come back and grab that stuff while we're here, because we're very close. We'll grab everything out there. We'll grab that so we've got it, and we'll grab some of that so we've got it. We're also going to make a couple of these, so we're going to need some glass. So we'll just grab some glass while we're here as well. Just getting a bit of a shopping list going on. Alright, now that's going to allow us to make 2 of those. And 1 more refinery. Great. Alright, let's head back. Make sure we've got stuff in here. And we're good to go. So now the cool thing about this is we only need to connect up the power. And this whole thing should now kick in. And we're going to just bring this over here as well, just to connect it all up. Not that we need to, but we're going to do it anyway. All right. Now, we should be able to make these. We've got the motors for them. And just because we're going to be standing here for a while, we'll stick that down just so we've got some charge coming in, so we're not using our fuel. All right. We're going to make sure these go in. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. And then same this side. We need to select, it's going to be the plasma refining. All right, once we've got that, we just copy and paste. There we go. And now we are refining crude oil into refined oil. But here's the challenge.
Replication complete.
We now need to bring out 1. Every other needs to come out. Has to be every other. And that all needs to connect up because it's an it all works, it all connects. And that can come down here like so. And then these ones, they just go out 1 step further, well 2 steps further, because then they create a little bridge. Okay. Like so. Alright, there's our 2 outputs. Now we're going to put these storage tanks down because we've got 2 of them. We're going to put 1 here and we're going to put 1 here, like this. Alright, we're going to connect these into each other. And this is going to be our setup. We're just going to finish this off. Now, it doesn't matter which way we do this, but we just have to be consistent. So, whatever side we go to first, for example, this side, we have to filter by pressing tab. I'm going to filter out refined oil. Now I'm going to left shift and left click on this. And I need to do every other one. So both sides here need to come in. Now, if I left shift and click this, it's going to hold that setting for me. Which means I don't need to change the filter again. Alright, and this one as well on this side. Now all of these are coming into here. Perfect. Now what I need to do is the other side. So I'm going to go and do hydrogen now. So every other side is going to bring in hydrogen. So the hydrogen's coming out, and now the oil is coming out, and they are both stacking up into here. Cool thing about this, yes, we can, if we want to, stack up too high. All right. So far, so good. That now works. All right, that's half of the problem of what we needed, right? So we know we're going to need matrix labs. For that, we're going to double up this time. So we're actually going to make 6 of them. Because we need more. Look, that hive is growing as well. That planet looks incredible, by the way, if you look at it from here. You see a couple of enemy bases on that. This one, however, look at that hive. That looks amazing. And if we go out in space and have an actual look at it, it's getting quite big. You see it's growing. We'll go and look at that other planet. Which just looking at there. This one. So we can see this is a lava planet. We can also see, look, there's 3 enemy relay stations on it. So you just need to bear that in mind. They're growing as well. Okay, we need to grab some of these. We've just unlocked the processor. So now, next thing we can do is the prototype. We'll unlock the prototype. And we're just looking for things at the moment that we can unlock. Probably struggling with blues at the moment because we've used them all up. And again, we need to find more nodes, right? So these will be alright for now. There we go. Yeah, they are coming through, but yeah, we just need to be careful because we're using up all these nodes. This one's got 5, which is okay. This one also has 5 at the moment, so just need to be careful we don't run out of another node. Alright, let's get back to where it was. We're going to make some more of these. Now, that's going to need some of these. That would be the 6th one. And then we're going to go 12 in total. We need some storage. We've got storage boxes, but we are running out. So we'll take half. What else have we got? We've got enough of these. I guess we're just going to take these again now. We'll grab all of these Mark 1s. We'll come across to here and we'll grab all these motors.
Replication complete.
And now we're going to, again, just keep making these level 2s at the moment. And then we don't need anything else. So these for now. There we go. Just keeping everything super clean. Whilst we head back over here now. So we need to also make sure we can do these. We can. We've got enough for that. Miners. Yes. Great. We have more than enough. Let's check our power situation. Power's good. All right. So it told us before that we're going to need, in terms of miners, we need 8. So that can just be one node of 8 that would work. We don't need to do any more than that. This has actually got a 10 on it, which is crazy. We're going to just do the 10. Straight off more than we need, but all good. Alright, we'll come out here. And this is going to go straight into this, which we need 4 of these. That's going to make everything we need. Then once these are made, they're going to have to come back this way. So the way that I'm going to do this, I'm just trying to find a cleanest way to do this, but the way I'm going to do this is bring this around. And over here. And I'm actually going to bring it back round again. I should have swapped these two over. It's okay. It doesn't matter. In hindsight, I would have done it the other way around. It would have been easier and better, but it's okay. These are going to make energetic graphite. And we're going to be using Mark II sorters now. Give that some power. Give that some power as well. Alright, so that's the 4 of those done. Bringing them over here. And we go 1, 2, 3. But we're also going to go 1, 2, 3. As before, we're going to do exactly what we did last time.
Replication complete.
We're going to put them into a box. Now, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that is going to become our research for now. Just temporarily. Right, this comes out and just comes across to here. We push this one in here, this one in here. Make sure this is set to produce. It's only going to produce red. That's fine. This one comes to here. Prototype is done. That's good. Push this in and this in. Then, as we did before, we're going to push these out into the middle. And then into here. Oh, no, sorry, I apologise. No, that is wrong. Not this time. This time we're going to do it slightly different. The reason we're going to do it slightly different this time is because we've got 2 stacks and not 1. So we're going to stack out of here, stack out of there, stack into here. This will go straight down to here, which means even though it stacks out, it's going to come straight back out again. That one's going to go into there. That one's going to go into there. This one's now set to research. So is this one. This is all going to need power. Now, as soon as we do this, it's going to kick off. So we'll put 1 there. We'll put 1 there also. That whole thing's now powered on, and we are making red. Red is now working. And within 2.5 hours of playthrough, we have now just unlocked and produced our first energy matrix. So, red energy matrix now is done. We can't automate research yet though, and the reason for that is if I come along to the research and let's say we want to make something like trying to find something we want. We go to upgrades, for example, and look at Mecha 2. If I activate this, it's not working. And the reason is because even though we've got the reds, and the reds are going into here, there's no blues in here. It needs both. So, oh, there's no power going in that side either, so just chuck that there. We have to go and get the blues. Now, there's 2 ways we can do this. We can try and set up a new blue. If we can find... Now look, there's some iron here. And there's some copper over here. So we could set up a new blue. Or we could just come all the way over here. And we could remove this, because we don't need his research anymore. We could remove that. And instead, we could set up a conveyor belt from here. Bring it all the way down. I just want to be able to make one of these as well. So in order to make one of these, just need a little bit of copper. Okay, I should now be able to make... I need silicon. Good job we're making our silicon over here. Great. I'm going to go ahead and produce myself one of those for now. And what this is going to do is all of these blues are now still going to get made, but they're going to get made here, right? And we could just create a whole new blue factory. That would work. We know how to do it. We know the basics. We know what we need. But we're going to exploit the rest of these while we've got them here. Use them. We can expand it if we need to. But look, the blues are now being produced. And they are coming out here. Like so. So that works really well. Get the second one set up. There you go. There's no more left in there now, so you can see how often they're coming out. And what we're going to do is follow this all the way down here. And look, if I place a battlefield base down and it has power, it will send out... Ironically, it doesn't have power. Let me just give it some power. It will send out 12 construction drones to go and build the rest of this. So I can use my drones to do this side. It's going to use those to do that side. And we're just going to connect this all the way across. Kind of nowhere to stick this really. There we go, and just get this all built out. So we'll do this bit while it does all that bit over there. Beautiful. So always good to just keep one of those with us. And that should be everything we need. We'll give that some power and let that build. Whilst we head over this way and set up our last inputs here. Which is going to be this one and this one. And now we're going to have our blues going into here. That's it. And then we're going to do exactly what we did here. That is it. Connect the power up. So now we'll have an input, output. That works. I was going to swap them to go in the other way. So, and here comes the blue. Looking really good. And when that comes in, that's going to start working on the research now. Because we've doubled up the hash rate now, we're now, as you can see, going to be up to, was it 240 before? If I take a couple of these and a couple of these, I'll contribute to the hash rate up to nearly 400 hash rate. Now let's have a look at power. We need to put some more power down. We don't need to use coal. We don't have an abundant amount of coal. So we can go and do oil instead. So one of the really cool things here at the moment is that we have all of this oil storing up and we're not really doing anything with it. So right now, we could just put down a blueprint for thermal power setup. And what's really cool about this is we could just slap that down right here like so. Oh, it says it's a bit too close to a power line. So we can just close that down just like this. And the power, the fuel, can come from there. And what's really cool about this, if we look at it, 4.5 megajoules, where if we look at coal, I don't think I have any coal on me. I don't have any coal on me, but if I have a look at it, 2.7 megajoules. So 2.7 to 4.5, which means that this is going to burn at half the speed, which means we can actually go further.
Upgrade complete.
So now we've got more power, up to 43 now. Also, it means that we're getting rid of some of this, because if we don't do this, then we have no output for this, and that means the whole machine will clog up. So now, even though we've got some storage here, this is working. We've got an output for it, and it's giving us fuel. So that works right now. This loop is complete. Let's work on some research, shall we? Mechanical frames, we can do those. Again, it's just blues and reds now. Look, 420 hash, which is great. And if I take some of these out of both sides, 420 hash. Inventory, we can upgrade our inventory capacity. We can do these. These are just 200 of each. We don't really need to do this at the moment. Auto reconstruction marking, we don't need that. Blueprints, we don't need that. Energy, we'll do that. Drones, yes, we'll do that. And drive engine. This is going to unlock mecha crews. We need this to leave the planet. If we get this, we can leave the planet. So, another massive lot of progress going through here. We can also unlock this one, which is going to allow us to view the ore reserves on the planetary systems. So a lot of research. We'll let that go. And if we have a look for the first time in our production, scroll down, we can make 60 per minute. But we need 120 a minute. Actually, that's not true. If we're doing 20... Oh, these are only doing 10 per minute. Yeah, sorry, so that's 60 per minute. So 60 per minute is what we were planning for. 60 per minute is exactly 8 refineries and exactly 2 crude oil. Everything's split and balanced. We've got the exact amount we need. And so this works perfectly now. So it will take a little while, but we have doubled our output and it's only 20 seconds to do this. So looking at a minute for each research, it's not really a lot of time. And we'll stack up the rest of them because we've got all these blues here as well, look. So stick those in there. With half of those in there and we're good to go. Alright, we don't need that anymore. We'll start moving a bit quicker. We'll start to do a few more things now. That works. We need to look at setting up now proliferation, because this is something we're not doing. So the way that the proliferation will work is we use the coal, the excess coal that we're not using here. We can make these. Now we make these in a assembly. So all we need to do is on the end of here is just push this on. And all we're going to do is connect this in. And this is going to be making these, the proliferation. Just give it a little more power. What we also need to be able to do though with the buildings here is get a spray coater. Okay, so we're going to produce 2 spray coaters. Now the first one that we're going to produce needs to go on the blues before they go in. So we'll put that one there. And then the second one that needs to go in needs to go into the reds once it's finished crafting before they go in.
Replication complete.
That's where they need to go. So then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our conveyor belt from here. We're going to bring it all the way up to here. And we've got a splitter already, so we're going to put a splitter down here. And that splitter is going to connect up to... Oh, it's a bit too close actually. We'll come back one. We'll put this down first because it needs to... Yeah, it's a bit too close still.
Upgrade complete.
We'll try it from here. That should work. Because it has to go up in the air. There we go, a little bit. So that's fine. This one... I'm hoping this is going to make it from here. We'll check. I don't think that's going to make it at that level. So what I can do is I can actually start to bring it up here instead. Just to bring it up a little bit higher. There we go. And it can go straight in there like that. Perfect. Connect this one up. And then we just need to set this as an output. Alright. Now the proliferator is going to come out. It's going to come into here and split. And we're going to start seeing this spray these before it goes through them. There we go. So now these are getting sprayed. Which means some of them, as you can see, have got a little dot on them. That means they're going to get a 25% speed up. 25% speed up. So we can choose in the research, what do we want? Extra products or production speed up? Well, actually, in this instance, we're going to go for production speed up. Because if we look at this, we're going to get 12.5% extra product, or... See, 12.5% extra product is one of them, or if we do for production speed up, we're getting an extra 25%. Now, it does consume an extra 30% energy, but we get an extra 25% speed up, so that's going to make the research go quicker.
Light mode.
Alright. I think for this one, just for now, because we're going to want some extra, just because we're doing so much, we're going to go for products at the moment instead. We're not getting enough blues down here to do these. So that means we're not producing blues quick enough right now. And that's why these aren't working. So for that, we'd have to go back and sort out the efficiency of our network. But otherwise, this is working really good. Both of these are working. That's all going to stack up. That's fine. We don't need to worry about that. We could literally do this to every part of the network now, where we can put this into it. But we are going to, as I said, it's going to create more energy. And power's good at the moment, but we just need to bear that in mind. Alright, we'll keep an eye on those. They're working fine.
Light mode.
Time for us to head back. And we need to fix that blue. And just make it a little bit better, because at the moment it's just not quite there. We'll keep these going for now, but we don't really want to waste this coal, and we can do other stuff with it. So we'll leave it for now. We can run that off the other oil. And yeah, look, this one, struggling because we're not getting enough circuit boards. We're not getting enough circuit boards because, well, we need to upgrade this line, right? So if we push that and that. Those ones are good, that's fine. What if we were to go ahead and make an extra one of these on both sides? That's surely going to help with production, right? Again, we're going for Mark II belts now. If we want to do an upgrade, we can actually do an upgrade, but we can do an area upgrade. So we can just like, I'm going to upgrade all the belts in the area. And if I go over this, it's just going to upgrade all of these belts. As long as I've got enough of them. So I'm just going to do this. And that's all of the belts upgraded now. I've got over 200 of them, so we're fine. And I can make this a bigger area as well if I want to, just to... There we go. We've got 17 belts left. Yep, I think that's all of them done. Cool. And 200 there as well, so that's fine. Yeah, we're good. Alright. Make a few more of these. We will automate that. That will be on our list of things to do. But now what we're going to do here is we're going to push that into here. I'm going to put that just there. This one comes out, this one comes out, and then that one goes in. Nice and clean. Can do the same thing here. Take that one out. We're going to come across to this side. We'll go out, out, and this one will go in. But this one's not quite working because we need to get that in, but we also need to get this over here, and I don't think we... Yeah, we're going to struggle with this one because it's not going to fit, so... Not from where we are anyway. Because that won't go. There is a way we can do it, but we don't want to make it too messy, so... We could push this whole thing over. We'll go for this. That actually needs to be that. And then that needs to come over to here. There we go. That would now work. Nice and clean. All right. That's working. That's working. Just get rid of that extra one there. We don't need all of these. Oh, going in now. Just one on each is fine. That works well. Nice and clean. Cool. All right. These are all stacked up. That's fine. We're good. These are all complete. There's a couple of these we didn't get done, but we'll just blanket over them now. Nice. All right. In terms of upgrades and what we want to do. Again, drive engine is queued, and then energy shield, we've got that queued as well. We can do vertical construction now. We probably should line that one up. It's only going to be reds, which gives the blues a chance to catch up. But that's going to give us a +2 lab vertical construction, which is going to increase our hash rate by an extra 240. 60 per lab, 4 more labs. So that's great. We'll get that. Vein utilization means 10% mining speed and -6% ore loss. So we'll do that one as well. All right. The rest of the stuff here, we actually don't worry about that too much. Don't need any of it right now. Can't do Mecha Core 3 until we do the structure matrix there. But we can do this one right now. So I don't think this one should unlock until this is done, but it is. So we're going to do that. And then an extra construction drone as well. Loads and loads of research in there at the moment. All right, let's have a look at technology and what we need. High efficiency, we need this, but for this we need magnetic levitation. That is going to be down here. So this is all Q's 4 at the moment. I'll do the energy shield later, I'm not too bothered about that. The rest of this stuff I kind of want. We want that. And then that will allow us to unlock this. Which, you know what, we'll come back and do that one afterwards. This is going to give us Mark II conveyor belts and Mark III sorters. So really big to get this one. And it also opens up the distribution logistics system, which we really want. So the outcome for today is to finish off all of these resources with... I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it in that order instead. There you go, because I want that first. And then I want Mecha Cruise, definitely. Do you know what? As much as I want this, because it's nice to have, I kind of really want this one. There we go. We're just going to leave that one to queue, because this one now, nice and easy. Cool. Everything there is now done. And then the next thing we're going to want is titanium smelting. So we need titanium smelting now, because we need titanium for when we unlock the next section. And the next section is going to be structure, which is... that's information over here. We want structure matrix, which is here. So we need polymer chemical engineering. We need high strength crystal. And then we can unlock this, because in order to be able to make this, we need one of these. And this requires both this, which is an organic crystal, which is a bugger, but we'll make that, and titanium. So we need the titanium smelting, plus we need the organic crystal, and we need some coal, and all of that together is going to make structure matrix. And that means we need to go off planet. So we're going to get ready to leave this planet. We've pretty much done everything we need at this stage. Now the threat's there obviously, and that's still going up. That's cool. We're going to chill. The only other thing we can do now is just be a little bit more efficient. So producing more, making more. If we have a look in the buildings, we can start to automate if we want to. The oil extractor, the oil refinery. Just look at what it requires. And then we can start to build out those loops as a result of that. Now, I would build out new loops for these. So oil extractor, oil refinery, chemical plant. You can also bring in a storage tank. And if you're doing that, you can actually add in the matrix labs now as well. So we can automate all of those. Everything else obviously been done. We do not need to automate battlefield analysis bases. We don't need to do that. We do want to automate sorters Mark II. Which means we can get a better production of the electric motors going, specifically for the sorter Mark II. So the next construction, so the next automation set that we're going to make is going to be for these buildings. And again, it's just a very simple process, but we just need to find the resources to be able to do that, right? And then that's going to give us those higher end buildings, because we're going to be making a lot of these. Now, when I say we're going to be making a lot of these, we could, if we wanted to, go set up another red production to double the output of reds if we wanted to, just to make that whole thing quicker.
Upgrade.
Exactly what we've built here. We could just mirror this and do it again. What that will do, if we do that, is it's going to allow us to push these out a lot harder. Now, this is actually stacking up. So the biggest problem we have here is space. If we get this vertical construction done, which is 2 minutes, then we're going to be fine, because we're going to be able to do all of this, right? So right now, titanium smelting, getting off the planet, is one of the biggest things, right? We're stuck on this planet right now.
Flight mode.
If I find where I want to go to, and I know where that's going to be, because if I press V, come out, we can look at other planets. So if I have a look at this, unknown, it says requires cosmic exploration level 2 for this. Look at this one, it says the same thing, requires cosmic exploration 2. We need to unlock that, because that's going to show us where we're going to find that titanium. It'll also help us to figure out and find out where we're going to find silicon. Ultimately though, they're all tomorrow problems. For now, we're done. We've done everything we need to do for this video. We set up our red production, that's done. Forward operating base is working. Silicon production, automate the motors and the engines, and we set up our basic blueprints. So we are progressing nicely. In the next video, we're going to head into outer space. We're going to start mining some titanium on another planet, bringing it back here. And then we're going to look at setting up yellow. We're going to push through these researches really quickly, because getting them working and going allows us to focus on later game production lines. When we get the later game production lines, then we can start really automating the bases. There's no point trying to build out a proper automated hub right now, because we don't have the research to be able to do that. And so the quicker we can unlock those parts, and for example, what I mean by that when I say parts, things like planetary logistics system, ILS, things like this. Having the gas giant explorations, nice. The distribution logistics system, all of these things are going to help us to be able to be more effective with how we set things up and how we distribute. We don't need conveyor belts going around a planet. We can get rid of those. That's what we're going to be working on next. But for today, we kept it to 90 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a good time. I'll see you later. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.